Oh, that deblog thing. I mean, already looked at it. We already looked at it. The aircraft carrier changes. This thing. I mean, I I don't really I don't really understand Wargaming's thought process. This is 14.7, so it's not this upcoming patch this week, but the next patch. And they're doing three main things. Um, well, actually, they're doing four. I guess four things. The good changes are they're reducing the on fire detectability, and they're giving planes a unified spotting range, so you no longer have like Kaga super stealthy planes, which is which is good. These are both like these are very good changes. I'm skipping over this for a bit. The other good changes that they're doing is that they're changing fire and damage control, so the carriers can now be set on fire and they burn for longer. However, it's extremely lenient. It's extremely lenient in the sense that the fire duration is 45 instead of 60 seconds for heavy cruisers and battleships. It's 45, so they get like Graf Spee fire duration, and they get the best DCP in the game easily. A full 30-second duration. The best battleship DCP is a 20-second. This is 50% better, and they also get a 70-second cooldown on it instead of battleship duration, which is 80. So it's like a super DCP to make up for that. So I'm glad that they're being set on fire. I'm glad this is a step in the right direction. The CVs being immune to fire to begin with was a horrendously demented mechanic. But I mean, this is... I don't know why they couldn't just have battleship DCP. People make the argument that, oh, they don't have access to heal. Yeah, but they also don't take damage the same way a surface ship does. Carriers sit at the very back of the map. They barely get shot at. They don't need to expose their hull to deal damage. Everyone else needs to push into firing range and get spotted while shooting, unless they basically smoke themselves. So the idea that this is acceptable because they don't have a heal is completely ridiculous. They don't need a heal because they never taking part in direct combat. So the argument for this DCP is kind of questionable. But I do think it's a good change that carriers can be set on fire. The other good change is that torpedoes no longer deal citadel damage. Torpedo destroyers or torpedoes launched by surface ships deal citadel damage, but submarine torps and airborne torps no longer deal citadel damage. This is a fantastic change because obviously the already fighting CVs is incredibly frustrating. Fighting CVs and not being able to heal their damage because it's citadel torpedo damage is extra frustrating. So this being changed is great. This also makes it less frustrating to deal with subs. The problem, of course, still remains that the alpha on this is very, very high, and you don't always even get a chance to heal. Like if a sub starts torturing you, you barely get a chance to heal before you're dead and so forth. So, but this is in terms, if you manage to disengage from the battle or disengage from the situation, this is a huge change because you'll be able to heal. You'll be able to heal the damage that you take, which is huge. The non-homing torp will probably still deal citadel damage. Yeah, and I mean, there's still other ways CVs can deal citadel damage, like AP bombs and AP rockets, AP skip bombers. Like, they still have plenty of ways to deal it. But, so this is it's a small change, but God forbid, it is in the right direction. So I would say right direction, and then we had the spotting thing. These are all steps in the right direction. What I do heavily disagree with though is them giving carriers manual secondaries. I don't really understand why, and I don't really understand the argument for this. I've seen some people say it's so they can defend themselves. They've always been able to defend themselves. The automatic secondaries punish anything that's close enough. They still have automatic ASW, and their planes are supposed to be their main defense. But this is such a massive buff for them, because not only are they getting absolutely insane manual secondary ranges, but they're also getting huge DPM buffs or just arc buffs. They're basically buffing either the DPM on some ships insanely much, or then they're just giving them much flatter arcs. And like the only thing kind of keeping this carrier DPM in check on the secondaries has been that it's not very accurate. Like that used to be what kept it in check, but now that you can manually aim it, I mean, it's going to be insanely accurate. It's going to be really, really accurate. So the whole argument of secondaries relying on that is out the window. Like the fourth highest raw DPM secondaries in the entire fucking game is Hakuryu. The Hakuryu is fourth highest, and I mean, even shit here like Nakimbo and stuff, 340k, like more than Ohio. And once again, the only thing keeping this in check has been the dispersion. Even battleships with manual secondaries need to get the homing built up until the secondaries can actually hit anything, and even then the secondaries usually target maybe not the parts you want to target. But now that you can manually aim them, this is so much damage. This is so much damage. Like, just even if you cut this in half because it's one side of the ship shooting, we're still talking a full-fledged, full-blown gunboat fighting you. And the idea Wargaming decided that adding the entire CV rework at once was a bad idea, so they're adding like parts. So that's the argument. We would like to implement some of the already prepared tweaks. So they don't want to dump the whole thing on you. They're trying to put it in implement. So it's like a slow rework that they're trying to do or something, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because until all the other changes are implemented, I think I saw Shriver from TWA write this, and I heavily agree with it. Let me see if I can find his comment. Let's see if I can find Shriver's comment. Here's Shriver's comment, and I actually really agree with this. Let's see. Shriver. With this change, CVs will be able to drop a fighter on top of a DD and switch the manually controlled secondary to gun it down while the fighter spots the DD. They are supposed to lose fighter spotting in the second rework. That change is not getting implemented yet. So all CVs are basically getting a buff, which they did not need until sometime in the future the second rework comes. The question is, did the balance team not think about this interaction, or worse, did they think about it and said it's fine, current CVs need a buff? And that's an incredibly fucking good question. Of course, you get a bunch of potatoes arguing it with him, because potatoes love arguing with actual Super Unicom players. So, but right now, the only way you can really look at this when it comes to any sort of combat capability for CVs, this is a gigantic fucking buff. This is an absolutely gigantic fucking buff. Like, it's a crazy fucking buff. And I don't know in what planet they needed this fucking gigantic buff. As comment have Juicy CV apologist replies. I mean, there's okay. Actually, there was a guy who randomly brought up my name there, which was a guy randomly brought up my name. Usually when people randomly bring me up in something that I'm not, like, this is literally an official devlog post, so I'm not even mentioned there. So this guy brought up, somehow Flamu will spin this as one of the worst changes in the history and scream about plane spotting. And usually when like, this is official devlog, I'm not even mentioning it. It's by Wargaming themselves. When someone randomly brings me up, I always suspect that, okay, these guys are gonna be a bit, they tend to be, but you and I was somewhat surprised when I I opened his profile to see like who is this guy? Like, what the fuck did I do to this guy? And his entire submission is a bunch of posts in furry kick pals looking for Telegram, I guess, I don't know, some sort of chat sex thing, whatever. And he does it like basically every day, posting. And then he goes on about he even goes on a long fucking text about what his kinks are. Uh, and his kinks are like ball play, size difference, smegma, bad endings, cock slapping, pigging, and I know that people who are fucking obsessed with me tend to be fucking mentally ill, but even I was somewhat surprised at just how deranged some of my haters are. Even I was somewhat fucking surprised at how fucking deranged my haters are. Like, I know people who like randomly bring me up they tend to have issues generally. But but I mean, it does sound right that people who love CVs like pegging, they like cuckolding, they like smegma. Honestly, nothing in this particular surprises me, because this is roughly what I expect the average CV enjoyer to enjoy. So in no way is this guy surprising me. This is all basically what I expected. But even I'm a bit surprised that he wouldn't have some fucking degenerate alt that he would use for this, and instead use his main for this kind of shit. But yeah, no, the devlog is the devlog has like really good changes. This is good. The torpedo citadel damage is good, but this entire secondary change is fucking wild. Giving them manual secondaries, buffing, and then like the crazy part is they buffed them with the argument that these changes are aimed at improving DP and consistency, enabling comfortable use, and it's like you haven't like even tested it and you're already buffing them across the field with like all of this shit. Like the situation right now is because plane spotting still the removal of plane spotting hasn't been implemented. So in 14.7, if you try to push into SX with your destroyer, the SX can smoke himself up. He can smoke himself up, leave a plane on top of you, and then sit in his smoke and manual secondary farm you to death. And there's basically nothing you can do about that unless you're literally a radar destroyer. But even then, he just like smashes you. So these are coming in 14.7. Yeah, these are coming in 14.7. So it's a fucking pretty wild buff to give. So this devlog has a lot of good. This is really good. Like, about time, God bless. This is really good. Carriers Burning is really good, even though they get some sort of super DCP. I don't really understand why, especially since they're also getting the manual secondaries, which is already going to increase their survivability fighting. Well, the ships that most commonly run down enemy CVs are destroyers, usually. Because, like, if you try to do it in a cruiser, you get spotted and you get cross-dropped, then you just get blown up. If you try to do it in a battleship, you just get tortured to death, and you're not really fast enough to run down most of the CVs. So the ships that generally run down CVs are either subs, against which they have the auto ASW, or destroyers. And now with the manual secondaries, this kind of DCP is gonna be really brutal. Because like you open up, in a destroyer, you open up on this guy, let's say you get a fire after 10-15 seconds, then he DCPs 30 seconds, potentially he runs DCP mod, we're talking like 45 seconds of DCP. By the time that DCP has run out, he's gunned you down. We're talking 1 minute under destroyer versus destroyer fight, except one of the destroyers is a carrier. Like, it's a really rough engagement, no matter how you look at it. It's I don't understand this change. I also saw someone on Reddit, of course, terrible takes on Reddit. I saw a guy go, "They finally give carriers offensive armaments, and you're upset, bro." No fucking carrier player is gonna use this offensive armament or gonna use these secondaries in an offensive manner. No fucking way. Why would they? They're not changing anything about how their planes work, so why the fuck would they risk? All this does is make them stronger when they need it the most, when a DD finally catches up to them. So now you have the situation where a carrier can miss position, get caught up by a destroyer, and then just gun down the destroyer. It gets kind of wild, man. It gets kind of wild. Cybrids are toxic, so let's give full CV basically the same ability. Yeah, no, it's like, what are you supposed to do in a destroyer now? Because if you open up, you just risk getting outgunned. And then if you smoke up, you're the one spotting the carrier. He just keeps running away and he hovers planes on top of you. So, okay, you don't smoke up, you try to open water, you're trying to kill something that has 60,000 plus health and the same or better DPM than you do, and you have like, what, 20k DPM, 20k health? If even that, considering you've just pushed all the way to CV. You rarely do that full HP. So, it's... I don't know, I just seem very rough. You can barely HE pen CVs on higher tiers. No, you can't. Like, you just die. Yeah, exactly. You just die. Like, there's so many issues. And there's the German CVs that are basically, they're battleship hulls. Like, German CVs are basically battleship hulls, which is super tough to deal with. And thank you, Dr. Johnson, for the 95. And they're gonna have like Z52 guns on them, like shit tons of Z52 guns on them. And it's like, how is that? Like, you run into a Rifthofen or a fucking Immelmann, and I mean, the armor scheme on this, like, 150? 50? Like, look at the armor on this. And then he shoots back at you with his, these guns. These are DD guns. Z52 guns. And he's got, what, 6 X2 on this side? 12 of them? And another 6, so it doesn't even matter what side you're fighting. You're still fighting basically a battleship hull, except he's got more guns than you, better armor than you, significantly more health than you. It's just like... I don't see how that's not really, really, really rough for the Destroyer player. And then you consider how much it takes for a DD to actually finally get within range of the CV, only to have to deal with this kind of fight when it finally does. Why try to strike a DD when you can just spot and gun at the same time? Yeah, exactly! Like, not removing fighter spotting before implementing this is crazy. Even with fighter spotting removed, it's still insane if you're a gunboat. Like, you're trying to run down a DD, trying to run down a CV and kill him, and he just starts wailing at you with these guns. Like, I don't even know what kind of secondary angles these things have. What is this? Immelmann. M. Immelmann. I wouldn't be surprised if they have very good angles, because Wargaming probably didn't plan this far ahead. Yeah, no, the angles are insanely good. Look at the angles. The angles are insanely good. Look. The angles are really, really good on the secondaries. So, like, he kites away like this. He got 12 guns on you. 12 guns, 12 guns. Reload 3.4. Like, it's rough. It's really rough. It's extremely rough. Secondary DPM 257, 258k. And, like, that's just a rough situation, no matter how you look at it. What are angles for Shinano? Let me check. Like, no matter how you look at it, I feel like this situation is just going to be really fucking brutal. And either it's Wargaming completely overlooking the fact that carriers can do this, which is honestly possible because they are pretty demented. They're really bad at, like, actually testing things, or then they just don't care. They just want to shove in new parts of their CV rework ASAP. Shinano has even better firing angles. Holy shit. Immelmann had 30%. Shinano has holy fuck. Look at this. 15-degree angles. Jesus. You can use all 8 guns with this angle. Woo! This side is 20%, but oh my, yeah, these are like a battleship can dream of these angles. A battleship can only dream of having these kind of secondary angles. These angles are fucking nuts, man. Are these perfect autobans angles? They are. Like, I wonder how many cruisers you'll be able to kill in that thing, just going angled and just outgunning him. Yeah, no, like, there's so many... Shinano gets smoked. Yeah, no, that's really the issue with shit like Shinano is Shinana lays a smoke, starts kiting away, sends up a plane to leave a fighter plane on top of the DD, and then just starts smashing it. If you shoot down the plane, he'll just fucking send the next squad in. Like, just there's good things. I like the deadlock has good things, but I don't think how bad this is can be overstated. It's a really bad change. The other changes, I like them. They're very good. They're very good, but this entire secondary part is baffling. It's like Wargaming just decided, hey, we can't implement the entire CV rework at once, so we'll just implement this part. This part that gives CVs an insane buff. We'll just shove this thing in right now, and we won't change anything else except you won't deal citadel damage and will burn, but it's like, that's not a fair trade-off. Oh yeah, no, Light Cruisers is gonna be brutal as hell. Light Cruisers is gonna be brutal as hell to play into this. Like, don't these things pen 26? Yeah, they pen 26. You don't even need to build anything on this to pen 26 on the Immelman. And doesn't the Hakuryu that already has insane DPM, doesn't the Hakuryu have like 30? Yeah, it's got IJN Akizuki guns, so it's got 30mm pen. Even heavy cruisers will get cooked by this thing. So even heavy cruisers will get cooked by this thing. Oh yeah. At least this thing hits full pens, but like it's gonna be a lot of damage coming back. It's gonna be a lot of damage coming back. Yeah, like in the past when you were low HP in a destroyer and you caught up the CV, if you were very good at juking the strikes and he wasn't very good, you could kill him just by dodging the attacks. Like the biggest threat was always his bombers and his rocket strikes. But if he wasn't very good and you were good, you could dodge it and you could just come out on top in that fight. Now, Kara's just gonna switch to his secondaries and fist you, and that's gonna be the end of that engagement. That's it. That's the end of that engagement. He just changes to manual secondaries and he wrecks you with his DPM. That's it. Battle over. No, nothing more to discuss, Your Honor. He switches to these guns here. Manual secondaries on all of them and fucks you. Yeah, no, like, and they're just shoving it into the game in 14.7. We're on 14.5 now. We've already downloaded 14.6. It's coming this patch, right? It's coming this week. And then after that we are in 14.7. Yeah, no, like Striver, this is just gonna increase the skill gap with CVs, and it's also gonna make it so much harder to kill good CV players. Because good CV players are already playing the cringe S6 Shinana shit. It's gonna be even harder to deal with them now. Whereas the potatoes are still just gonna be useless and die. Well, not die, but just be useless. So I don't understand. Like, I think it's a crazy change to implement. I think it's a really crazy change to implement. And it's a shame because the rest of the devlog was very good. But that shit is demented. There's no other way to look at it. It's demented.